Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Culture Nerd Podcast. This week, we're going to talk about, that Peacemaker finale that apparently you either loved it or you hated it. It seems to be very little in between. We're going to talk about that. We're going to break down some of the stuff that was great about it, some of the stuff that wasn't so great. And then I'm going to try to sell Michael on the idea that he needs to go see Tron Ares because I loved it. He hasn't seen it yet, and apparently a lot of people are in that same boat where they're just like, I don't know, maybe I won't see it, but you got to see it. So we're gonna talk about that in a very, very spoiler filled bit about me trying to sell you on Tron Ares. But without further ado, let's get into it. And here we are.
I broke my work chair, my office chair. So I'm in like one of my dining room chairs and I feel smaller. I feel tinier.
I moved some stuff around in my office. I moved my Star Wars X-Wing pilot helmets, and now I have my Power Ranger helmets over here. So I'm just moving my stuff around. So nothing's broken in mine. I'm just running out of space. So I'm trying to rearrange stuff. I've got some books on the bottom of my shelf that I'm probably going to move to a different shelf and then just fill the rest of that shelf with not books now.
I'm about to start playing the Power Rangers tabletop RPG.
Oh, I've heard great things about that one.
I'll let you know when I review it. You started by talking about Peacemaker. Either people love it or hate it. I think you described 2025. There is no longer any shades of gray.
No, it's everything just one or two extremes, and that's it. That's how we live now.
We'll be on the extreme of spoilers. So if you have not watched the end of Peacemaker yet, or if you if you are going to go see the new Tron movie, go away, come back next week after you see those things, then watch the episode. But we're going to talk about them. Yeah, Taylor, I liked Peacemaker.
I did too. Everyone was upset because they were like, "Where's the cameos? Where's this? Where's that?" And I think that was in itself a very good subversion of expectations, because what he instead gave us wasn't a cameo-filled orgy of cameos. It was a story that once again was about the characters and the personal development they were having. It was very much a character piece, and there was some big moments that seemed to be overshadowed by the fact that people were just upset that there wasn't a Superman cameo, or wasn't Batman showing up, or Blue Beetle showing up, or whatever they wanted to have happen. But what we effectively got was that we have now seen 3 DC Studios projects showing Rick Flag go from metahumans or whatever to they all need to go to prison. Like, he became an extremist over the course of 3 projects.
And Rick Flag is kind of showing that he's kind of morally compromised, right? They're doing bumps of cocaine, getting all jacked up on national security. He is also no longer a good faith actor in all of this.
No. And that's very much what we got. So we saw that the big moments, obviously, Peacemaker season 3 is not happening. We know this because James Gunn said we're not doing a season 3. It's going to be something else. That something else we now understand is Checkmate. And for those who don't understand what Checkmate is, go down that rabbit hole, because that is actually probably one of the biggest moments of this episode that everyone's kind of ignoring. But the fact that Checkmate is now in play means so much for the DC universe.
And I think what was weird is we saw a dream sequence of what Checkmate was going to be like if Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, was there. That's not what we're going to get, because that reality is not going to happen.
We're going to get the Checkmate that is now, where's our main guy? And now we're going to just become ruthless, because he was kind of our North Star in a way. Like, he was someone who kind of saw the best in all these people. And for as flawed and as much the Grim Reaper he declared he was, he actually made them all better. And then without him in the room, we saw what happened when they were going through plans without him in those plans. They literally killed his dad and messed up his brother. Like, they went for like extremes. So
I think I wanted a final action set piece. Maybe that's part of my disappointment, that John Cena did not wear the Peacemaker helmet at all. Like
No.
maybe a couple of times, but not really. Also, the ending of this, there were so many pieces that reminded me of Suicide Squad Isekai, where it's like you have a battle world. You can literally do whatever you want in this place. That's the part I didn't understand. Like, why were people mad at that? Like, this is a really fun idea with now going into other dimensions, going into other universes, these other creatures and things like that.
So we're going to talk about that moment. And I think, again, this is going to be one of those things that separates the comic fans and the casual fans, because people were expecting, okay, they're going to go to this other planet, they're going to do this multiverse thing, they're going to do this. The people were saying that there's going to be like an Ayer Cut cameo or Zack Snyder's Justice League cameo, and it didn't happen. But what we got was honestly so much bigger than that. We got Salvation. And for those who don't know what Salvation is, that planet, in 2008, there was a comic called The Salvation Run. This was basically a planet that the government had declared was going to be the new metahuman prison, and they literally shipped everyone off there, right? And as that storyline continues, it kind of turns Lord of the Flies style. The villains kind of form camps. They start fighting each other. There's a camp of Luthor and his followers, a Joker and his followers, and they kind of start warring with each other. And then it's revealed that the planet itself was actually made by Darkseid, and it's a planet that was being used by Desaad as a torture planet. It had all of these like holy shit like twists and stuff. I don't think that they're going to go that route. I don't think that we're going to get the warring camps. We're getting that stuff. What I think we're probably going to get is that this sanctuary, the Salvation Planet, is going to be a sanctuary planet owned by Brainiac, and he's going to be using it as his collection. And I could see them going through and be like, how is there dinosaurs? How is there this? How is it? And like, then find out that it's like this natural preserve that was set up by Brainiac. Instead of just putting everyone in bottles, he puts them there first. And that's probably how they're going to tie it all together. But that's just my opinion, because I also don't, we'll see what they do with it, honestly.
Would that also, would this be a way to introduce like the Martian Manhunter? Like he was on this planet, like he got, yeah.
I mean, we talked about this before. Like, if Brainiac is coming into play, he could be like, I have the last Martian, and now I've got this guy. Now I've got this guy, and he's going to start collecting people. And then when they break him out, he's going to be like, I'm finally free. I'm going to help you guys. Mm-hmm. So they could easily do that. But the Salvation is such a huge moment, because we now understand that they're going that route, this totalitarian, zero compromise. And we know that already from Superman. Hawkgirl just unceremoniously killed a foreign president, right?
Yeah.
I don't for a second think that she's not going to end up on this planet. Like,
yeah, there has to be consequences to killing a world leader.
I can honestly see that Rick Flag is going down this slippery slope where he's going to basically become like the government in V for Vendetta, and he's going to black bag a bunch of people that he thinks is dangerous, and they're going to disappear and wake up on this planet, and it's going to become a major plot point going forward.
Do you think we'll see his friends from the Creature Commandos show up there as well?
I think that he's going to utilize the ones that he trusts, and the ones that he thinks are dangerous are going to end up on this planet. Like, so he's going to straight up be like,
so Weasel's going to the planet. Dr. Phosphorus is going to the planet. Phosphorus
might actually stay, because at the end they were actually on a good rapport. Okay. But I think Frankenstein's going to 100% end up there. The Bride will probably stay with him. Like, they're going to definitely do some stuff where it's going to be like, he's going to be acting as judge, jury, and executioner, and it's going to be very compromised, very biased, this does not make any sense.
You know who we need to take the helm again? We got to get Amanda Waller back. If you're telling me Rick Flag's gone off the deep end, where's Amanda Waller in all of this?
Yeah, she's in hiding. She's in the running right now, because things just went bad for her after she got outed on national TV. So we'll very much see. I could easily see that. I could see her daughter turn to her for help, saying, "We need Checkmate to take down Argus, and you're the one who knows Argus." And I could see her quietly mastermind Argus, a position back at Argus through Checkmate. So
It's so funny. I did not know this storyline and stuff like that, but it sure sounds a lot like what they did with Captain America, where they find out, oh no, Shield's been infiltrated.
yeah,
I mean, we're going to see something like that as well.
we're gonna see
Also,
some weird stuff.
more reason for Superman creating the Justice League. That, like, hey, these people are compromised. I need a group of heroes that I trust.
Exactly, and it's going to be like you're going to see the government is going to basically start sanctioning like companies that are like, for instance, the Justice Gang are being supported by Maxwell Lord Incorporation, and they're very biased by the fact that they have this rich, morally gray benefactor. So I could easily see Superman saying, "Now you guys are bending to the government because you want to make sure that you don't get X or Y or whatever," and then he's going to basically say, "We need the Justice League because we need to be separate from all of it." So it's going to be a very interesting play, and I'm very curious on how Man of Tomorrow is going to play into it, because it definitely sounds like Lex Luthor has just puppeteered his way out of prison, because his entire team, which is loyal to him, is now whispering in Rick Flag's ear.
What is the criticism? Why aren't people liking this? Is it because it didn't meet their expectations? Is it really just because Superman didn't show up? I feel like the Lex thing was a big deal.
A lot of people are just pissed because it didn't give them this big hulking fight at the end.
But Peacemaker can't do that. He can't have a Superman level fight.
I mean, the last time we had him like use his exploding helmet, and then he fought this cow monster, and then like the Justice League showed up 2 seconds too late.
And in the Suicide Squad movie he was in, he did not do any of the kaiju fight. He didn't fight Starro, correct?
No, he got like killed, and then they fought the kaiju.
Right. So, like, I don't know if we've ever seen him. And they've taken away all of his powers. He's on a planet without a helmet. So, like, whenever we see him again, he's not going to be juiced up. He's going to be using, like, Styx weapons.
I really would think it would be funny that when they finally see, they get back to Chris Smith, where have you been? He's going to be, like, in a loincloth with a spear and mud all over his face and have this giant beard and been like, this place sucks. And just full on, like, Jumanji style. He's going to just be like, I had to survive. And also, I ride a Triceratops now. Like,
well, and it's interesting because which way do they go with it? You know, does Brainiac have anything to do with this? Or is this just, James Gunn can keep Peacemaker here in limbo. Nothing's going to happen to him in Worlds. And then we come back when Checkmate has to do the breakout. Because Hardcore knows where he is, right? Like,
nobody knows where he is. Nobody knows where he disappeared.
But they know about the doors. They know that Argus was working on this.
They know, and even
what's the metahuman? The lady who works for Argus, who's like, you're a metahuman. What's her powers?
She's a cyborg.
Oh, okay. They're just all cyborgs?
No, she is. Like, she's 100% like, most of her body is machine. So she has like
right, but Lex also had the nanobot girl. So there's just 2 cyborg chicks.
Well, I mean, the nanobot girl, she's nanobots. Like, she's a little bit more than just the cyborg thing. Like,
I'm not going to argue with you whether nanobots and cyborgs are the same thing.
Okay. So the difference is like the T-800 and the T-1000. Like, the Argus chick is like the T-800.
Right. But they're both artificial beings, but they're both robots.
They're both robots with human minds, but one can like make anything out of their hands, and the other can punch shit.
Okay, well, the other one's way better. The anything out of your hand sounds way better than punch shit.
Yeah, the engineer is like the better of the two, right?
Okay.
But like, Bordeaux has like super eagle vision, and like she can punch through a wall and stuff, but that's really like the limit. Like, she's like the Bionic Man.
Is there any other way to get to Salvation? Like, could the Green Lantern show up there and like on a routine mission in the galaxy?
Well, that's the question though, because in the comics, we understand that Darkseid is a multiversal existence. So his planet Salvation is not necessarily in the same branch of the multiverse, but they can access it through these doors. So is this version of Salvation, is this in the main DC universe, or is it in another universe that they're just crossing into?
It could just be a Salvation planet that's perfect, but at one time the government was ran by Nazis. This could just be somewhere in the
it could be our X for all we know. It could be in that universe. We don't know which version of which branch this planet is in, so we have more questions than answers.
I also feel like this is a great way to get you can take other heroes from maybe other parts of the DC universe. Take a Silver Age hero and he's been here. I guess no, but time would still be linear. So it's not you couldn't, if someone went there 50 years ago, they wouldn't be younger, right? You age the same.
Right, because that's how the door works. It's kind of like in Man of Steel, where like his planet was destroyed like 150 years ago, but because he used the quantum engine, it popped him in instantly. So like it could be like that, but the door doesn't work like that. So if they tried to get to that planet a different way, it would probably take different times. But
I will say this. I liked Peacemaker, and one of the reasons why I like it is its cast of characters. I think that they're very funny. Vigilante is hilarious.
I also think that the meta commentary of we're not going to do this because of the blood curse, and then people like, did he enact the blood curse? Because now he's on another planet.
That's a great question. I hope that we do get more Peacemaker universe, or announce Checkmate is coming out as a show, because I do feel like, I hope that we continue on with these individuals. I hope that they're not in limbo with Peacemaker.
They are working on Checkmate right now. That is actually the next project that he's doing after Man of Tomorrow. So that's not going to be something that has to be taking too long. They're planning on filming Man of Tomorrow very soon. So once that starts up and running in just a few months, they were going to segue right into Checkmate, and then they're going to segue into the next project after that.
Now, why am I seeing on YouTube when I log in that maybe James Gunn is out at DCU because this is not the reception that they wanted to all of those things? I don't feel like he's getting fired anytime soon.
He's not getting fired. I think what's happening is, so this happened very tinfoil hatty right now. Paramount made an offer. They tried to buy the company, and they tried to do it as buying majority shareholders. By doing that, they had to actually present the offer to the shareholders and not Zaslav. So he had no conversation in this. The shareholder said this was not enough, and they said no. And now Peacock and Universal are coming in for a counter offer, and everyone's basically trying to say, I want to buy you. This is how we would do it. But even then, the FTC won't allow it. It's not going to happen. If anyone does get approval, it would not be a major film conglomerate. It'd probably be someone like Apple or Sony, or not even Sony. It'd be like Apple or maybe even Netflix would be the ones that would be approved, because they don't own major film studios. They are separate still. So any of these major film studios like Disney, Paramount, Universal, Sony, they're not going to get FTC approval to buy Warner Brothers. That's not going to be a thing. But once the offer was made and they denied it, then all of a sudden you started seeing this smear campaign as if it was some of these companies trying to lessen stock value.
Oh, that's so fucking dirty, Taylor.
So
that's the most dirty shit I've ever heard.
I saw it like, it was like I was watching it. I'm like, am I the only one noticing the pattern here? They just got denied, and now negative press is happening that's going to hit their stocks.
So a pattern I've noticed is that if you give the president of the United States golden treasures and treats, that sometimes you can get these deals approved. Do any of those companies have the political leverage? Because the idea of Paramount and Warner Brothers merging into one is mind-boggling.
Well,
I hear you say that, and I ask myself, do we live on the worst fucking timeline? Like, what do you mean?
This is actually something Paramount had tried to do before. They actually positioned to Warner Brothers saying, buy us, we'll join you. They took it to the board. The board was like, now it's not
join me and we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
So it actually went to the point where they were talking about it, basically calling it like Warner Paramount or whatever they wanted to call it. They tried to make it happen. It didn't happen. And then Skydance came in and bought Paramount. And now Skydance is actually the one coming in to try and buy Warner Brothers. This very rich aristocratic family who should not own movie studios are trying to buy them all. And the FTC is not going to allow it. It's not going to be a thing that happens. So I don't think everyone who's saying this is clearly being part of the propaganda machine and thinking that it's going to be a new thing. No, the studios aren't going to they're going to try to make offers. They're going to try to do what they do. FTC is not going to allow it because the FTC is already gun shy because of what Disney did with Fox. They literally said, don't do this and we'll approve it. And they're like, okay, we won't do it. And then
they did it.
They did it the day after. And now they're like, we're not approving shit anymore. So
Of
no,
the
it's not
examples
happening
you
again.
gave, there's two tech companies, Sony and
Sony
Apple.
Sony owns Columbia Pictures. That wouldn't be a thing that I would see that happening.
Okay, so then Apple gets to buy one of these. Who do you think? Because Apple would not give over anything; they are going
No.
to own it. Who do you think Apple could pick up on the cheap?
I could see Apple pick up Universal Peacock, because just today, Apple and Peacock have done a joint venture to run their apps together. So this just happened this morning, that they're now doing a bundle with just these two services together for like $15 a month for both of them, which is
It's a pretty good price, everybody. That's a pretty good price.
So I could easily see them saying, hey, let's work together, and we like this. We're just going to buy you in cash like we did with everyone else we work with.
I mean, Tim Apple did give Trump that statue with the gold base, so maybe they can.
Maybe they can make it. I think that can happen. But before we go, I want to talk about Tron, because
my sister and her husband called me and they fucking loved it.
Yes,
they were so Taylor. I feel like Tron needs a movie 0 where they it. First off, we have to stop calling this world Tron. This needs let's call it
the grid.
Let's call it the grid. Let's call it the network. It needs a definition, because I feel like we're way away from Tron. We're in this world because I do like computer programs fighting. I've liked it since reboot days.
So I'm going to give you spoilers and tell you why you have to see this film. Okay.
I know all the spoilers, Taylor. Please just talk about it openly. What were the beats that spoke to you? What do you think? Why do you think this is worth watching?
Tron Legacy was the sequel to Tron, focusing on the Flynns. Tron Ares is the sequel to Tron, focusing on the Dillingers.
Okay.
We have two different branches leading to the same conclusion. And when the director of Tron Legacy pitched Tron Ascension, and essentially the first act of Tron Ascension is what turned into Tron Ares. This whole idea is the leading point to the next big final act, right? Going into it right off the bat, Michael, the MCP.
Oh, Moses. Yeah, I saw this guy in South Park.
The MCP is back in the opening moments, and he is terrifying now.
Ooh. Okay. So the original bad.
Yes. But the movie opens up basically with Dillinger Jr. saying, Ares, you are my new program. What is your directive? And he says, I am master control. I am to oversee your grid, and I am to do, like, basically Dillinger made a new MCP, and just like Dillinger and Sark in the original movie, they have that same relationship where Dillinger Jr. is now the face telling the program what to do. Just like the original, right? Ares becomes kind of self-aware and realizes that he basically kind of gets infatuated with this idea of humanity. And he basically becomes kind of a rogue AI in itself. Like there's this series of events that leads Dillinger and Encom trying to basically break this. We're going to bring shit to the grid. And this is stuff that they were talking about in the very first Tron. When the first scene, when they're talking about the laser, they digitized an orange and said, now we just need to figure out how to pop it back out. This movie, they're trying to do that. And the first thing that they create is the orange tree, just from that first movie.
Right.
They have a 29-minute cap, essentially. So when they put something out of the grid, it survives for 29 minutes and then fails, and then they have to basically print it again. And they're both trying to find what's called the permanence code.
If you print a person and they die and they fizzle out in 29 minutes, are they dead, or do they just go back to the computer?
They go back to the computer. So that's what happened with Ares. He basically brought Ares out and showed him off to the government, and the government's like, damn, that's cool. And then while he was out, he started scanning weather patterns. He started scanning people. He started scanning biometric, the pressure. He started just scanning everything around him, and then started becoming infatuated with the idea of rain, and was like, this is so much more complex than the grid. And he starts questioning his own reality. And then when he's told, now you need to hack into Encom and learn everything you can about these people, he does, and then starts getting like interested and intrigued by their lives and wants to basically be human at that point. So at the end of Tron Legacy, we had this moment where Sam takes out Korra And because Cora is an ISO, we kind of get this subtle context that the permanence code that allows these things to exist is the ISO DNA. Because Flynn had basically discovered something like, so there's a quick moment where he gives Ares the permanence code to allow him to become a real boy, essentially. And while he does that, you see the code, and it's the same code that that Flynn was showing Sam with Cora's disc and saying, there's something about them that's really wild. And that's essentially what he had found in the ISOs. So we understand that she is just like him now. She is a living person that exists outside of the grid, but was born in the grid, because she natively has the permanence code, and then Flynn recreated it by setting her. This movie ends with two very big cliffhangers. One, Jared Leto's character is now down in Mexico looking for Cora. He understands that the mystery companion of Sam Flynn, the guy that came back and started running ENCOM and then mysteriously quit ENCOM due to personal reasons and disappeared, is now running with his girlfriend in probably Costa Rica, like he joked about in Tron Legacy. And there's even a moment where he pulls out another photo of a modern day version of her with some coordinates that are also down in Central America. So we understand that now Ares is looking for her because he's trying to find how this person who left their grid has lived here for like 15 years and what his purpose is now that he's a real boy. And then the biggest tease of all teases, the government is coming after Dillinger Jr. He tries to reboot the grid system so he can hide. He gets through, he sucks himself into his own grid, and then while he's in the grid presents him with a disc. And you hear this faint whispering, kind of chanting this name, and then he goes to the disc, he grabs the disc, and it begins to overwrite him. And while it's overwriting him, he becomes the new Sark.
Whoa.
So now we have a Dillinger Jr. who's now a user inside the grid, who's essentially become the new big bad that's going to work for the MCP, which I'm assuming, if they make the sequel, is going to be his dear uncle, Cillian Murphy, Edward Dillinger Jr.
Like all these Disney projects, so much promised. Do we even get any of this because of the response to this movie?
The response to this movie is solely based on negative press from the people who never liked the Tron films, because Tron 1, critics didn't like it. Tron Legacy, critics didn't like it. Tron Ares, critics didn't like it. But the audience score for each of these films has gotten progressively better, with Tron Ares having the highest score of the three. The soundtrack and the visuals alone is worth the cost of admission. This movie was a visual and auditory delight. And the story is, again, more Tron in this world, but again, from the Dillinger side, and leading into the next project, which is going to be the fated battle between the Flynns and the Dillingers. Again, this film right now is made only about a third of its money back, right? So
it's got to do gangbusters international, right? It's got to do...
It's doing better overseas than domestic, because everyone is like, oh, this movie sucks, don't see this, blah blah blah. But everyone who saw it, the audience score is the highest of the franchise. Everyone who's actually seen it loves the film.
My sister and her husband loved it. They like the world of Tron. They liked all of these movies. This movie they liked just as much as they liked the other movies.
It was fun. It was weird. It was different seeing these characters cross over into the real world. And there was even a moment where they're in the real world and Ares is like, I've got like 10 minutes left of my 29-minute timer. We have to figure out how to do this. So she jacks him into Kevin Flynn's personal computer, his old like Apple One. And he's in the 80s grid from the original Tron movie. And that's where he finds a digitized copy of Flynn, who basically says, I have the code. I'm gatekeeping the code. Why should I give it to you? And that whole interaction between the two of them was amazing.
So there's multiple, like Dr. Light, there's multiple Flynns. There's like different.
Yeah. So he has like copies of himself that are already kind of existing everywhere.
Mega Man, take this pot with you.
Yeah, it's amazing. But no, it was really cool because you essentially get this idea that Flynn, yes, maybe Flynn is gone, but he did kind of create safeguards in his own versions of his own programs to exist and protect his secrets. But again, what do we still have? We have Sam Flynn even in this photo, right? What is the thing that's in this photo the most? There in the real world, and around his neck is a copy of the modernized Grid 2.0 that Kevin Flynn had made with the Tron source code still on that grid.
Ares has a triangle circle. Does he punch a lot
Oh,
with it? Does he
oh my God.
throw it? Does
So-
he climb stuff with it?
So his disc, right? So the moment he gets his disc, when the scene where he's like, "Here's your identity disc. You are master control." He looks at the disc, and it even says Dillinger across the triangle. Like it even is, you know, it's a violent identity disc made by the Dillingers, and he uses it just like a normal identity disc. It's a 3-pointed ninja star, and it's a weapon, and it's angry and aggressive. And there's some really cool sequences with it, but just go see the movie. Like it's a lot of fun. It as a fan of the original Tron, this was where I saw the Dillingers going if they were not fighting the Flynns. And this is essentially what happened. The Flynns have all disappeared, but we still don't know their secrets. So we can't ride their coattails anymore, but we're going to try to still ride their coattails.
It's October 16th. Isn't this just going to be on Disney Plus by Christmas?
It might be. But the thing is, the movie opens in China tomorrow. And China has always been very favorable of these films. So first weekend did okay. Word of mouth has made people say, I got to go see it this weekend. There's still a chance that they could make their money back, but they can make the money they need to domestically. But if China comes in like they've done, like with Aquaman, for instance, Aquaman did okay domestically, but it made like almost $1 billion on its own in China. If we get something like that happening, we'll get our sequel, our Tron Ascension.
What's the Transformers movie that's basically like a third of it's in China? Which one is that one?
There was like 2 of them, but
okay.
The dinosaur one. Yeah. That did very well in China.
Yeah, it did. I mean, the third of the movie's in China.
Yeah. So, but it's got everything that the international audiences like: killer visuals, killer soundtrack, and just a lot of action fun with science gone crazy.
I am baffled. I mean, it's wild that this was the horse that Jared Leto decided he was going to die on. That Tron is going to get made.
That's the thing. So everyone's like, oh, they shouldn't have cast Jared Leto. They shouldn't have done that. The franchise was dead. After Tron Legacy came out, Disney was already on the fence about making more. They made a TV show. It did okay. Didn't really sell any merchandise. It was fine. It came and went. And then they were talking about making Ascension. And then Tomorrowland came out. It bombed. And they were like, we should just not do any of these things anymore. And they canceled it completely. And that was 9 years ago. And then Jared Leto, being a super fan of Tron, basically annoyed the shit out of Disney until they said, fine, we'll make this film. You're producing it. You can do this, but we'll make it because you just won't leave us alone. So the only reason he's the lead is because he's also helping pay for the film, and he's resurrected the franchise. So everyone who says, oh, they should have cast someone else, he's the reason it happened.
I mean, listen, I wish it nothing but success. It's a world that I would love to have more defined. Disney wanted it to be their Star Wars, but they've never given it the attention that Star Wars has.
And now that they have Star Wars, they don't care.
And it's wild that we've lived through a world of mediocre Disney Plus stuff, and they never put Tron in the mix. Like, that shows to me the lack of foresight. Why not do a season of a show and introduce a character have it lead into this? It
was really good. It was called Tron Uprising, and it was basically the prequel to Tron Legacy, and it was a great show. Elijah Wood was the main character. It was good, but it came out in a weird time where Disney XD wasn't really that big of a thing, and Disney Plus wasn't yet there yet.
Right.
If they would have released it like 3 years later, people would have been all over it. But it just came out in a weird time.
Or could you do a live action 1-to-1 remake of it?
It would be way too damn expensive.
Oh, just because it has to look like Tron World, you have to have all that stuff.
I mean, this movie was the cheaper a movie compared to Tron Legacy, but it still was $180 million to make this film. So,
Jeez Louise. Okay,
that's where we're at. But Michael, take us home. I hope I convinced you. Go see the movie this weekend. It's fun.
It was a good pitch, Taylor. It was a very good pitch. Just like I'm here to pitch you, not that face, Taylor, the other one. Patreon.com/theculturednerd. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful patrons. Let us know if you would like some exclusive content just for you. Just let us know and we will make it. If you're watching this online, like, comment, subscribe. Please do all of those things. Share this with someone that you want a part of this conversation. If you take a picture of that QR code, it'll link you to all of the socials. Taylor Murphy's been your host. Me, Michael Santel, I'm your co-host. Thank you so much for joining us. Drink water, eat food, get sleep, take care of yourselves, and we'll see all you kids and cats next time.
Bye. Thank you for joining us.